We are now going to move on to the next question. I would like to invite Clint Cole to come forward to ask the question.
Good afternoon, Chair, and all board members, and those others sitting at the table. My name is Clint Cole, and in the interest of having fair representation around this board, to help deal with multiple issues, my question is, will this board chair and remaining board members create a standing parent representation on this Durham District School Board in the same way that you have for the students, so that we have representation for students, which is important as well. But student parents are unarguably major and the most invested stakeholders in the resulting impacts from decisions made by this board. It only makes clear, logical, and intelligent sense that parents are also sit at this table to communicate their wisdom and insight into the school board policy development in a timely way. Adjunct question is, why should they not participate in collaborative oversight of their children's overall development and personal welfare in this regard, when our children spend the very bulk of their day and time in the school? So timely representation and development of policy to key stakeholders like parents, like most of us in this room, I think is actually a really good idea, and one that I'd like to see this board adopt. And I speak for many parents, not just myself, incidentally.
Thank you for that question. First, I will pass it on to Executive Lead Robert Sujanik, but I must say under the Education Act, it specifically identifies, as well as the Election Act, and who qualifies to run as trustees. And I can say that there are parents sitting around this table that are representative of the Durham community, as well as we do have 3 student trustees to represent the student's voice, who sit on Student Senate, we have committees, as well as we have a parent committee, a PIC committee. But I will pass the rest of the answer on to Executive Lead Sir Janik.
Thank you, Chair Edwards. I think you covered most of it. I'll just provide some clarification around student trustee representation on the board that's mandated for all school boards in Ontario by the province through the Education Act. Here at the DDSB, there are 3 student trustees elected by their peers who serve a 1-year term. So their role is to represent the entire student body as a student trustee, bring forward items for discussion faced by students, and to seek ways to improve the experience of students in schools. As well, the voice of parents, guardians, and caregivers are an essential component of school boards, and this happens in many different ways. So eligible voters, including parents, have the right to elect school board trustees who work together in the best interest of all parents and students. School board trustees, as the chair mentioned, represent a broad cross-section of community members and have typically included parents of current students or former students, retired educators or education workers, and just across the DDSB for the awareness of the public. There are many opportunities for parents to get involved and provide input. That's including through school community councils at the school level, also the district-wide parent involvement committee that reports annually on its activities to the Board of Trustees. Any residents eligible to vote in Durham is also eligible to run for the position of school board trustee, and that includes parents and guardians, and of course at all times parents, guardians, and caregivers are free to communicate with board members by email or telephone, or to their school principal where appropriate, to bring forward their concerns, ideas, thoughts, and questions for consideration.
Thank you. Do you have a supplemental? Push the button on the...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
In light of that, my supplementary question would be to challenge this board, because I think, yes, there's input at different levels, but this is a very crucial input venue and process, and it's the lead one that finally makes decisions. I think it's important that, I would challenge the board. Could you not do something and create and be a leader and maybe create an active standing parent liaison committee that you could consult with in a timely way as policy develops? Because I think the input can't be at this lower level for parents to respond in order to hear their voices. If we can have students at this table, why shouldn't we have parents in the same way so they have the same input at the same level?
Thank you for your question. We'll take that under advisement. We're going to move on into the next section of our meeting, which is the report from the Committee of the Whole. I'll pass it on to Vice Chair.